look, I would take either one of these guys, and I think you can win this. You have a chance to win the Super Bowl with either guy every single year. My sons play fantasy football, so I'm always advocating that they draft one of these two quarterbacks for fantasy each year, and they're usually not disappointed either. But working with Tom and then working against Tom, he's so difficult to deal with because if he knows what you're in, he's going to the right place. And they're constantly gathering information, and you have to work incredibly hard to disguise your coverages to try to get it so that he's making post-snap decisions. Now, Aaron Rodgers is very smart, too, as a quarterback and understands what he's looking at defensively. The additional problem that Aaron creates is his ability to make plays on the move. Totally different than Tom. Tom's no threat out of the pocket. Aaron is a big threat out of the pocket. He's a big threat to extend plays, and his ability to throw accurately on the move is incredibly impressive. In terms of which guy I would take, I would obviously take Tom Brady just because of my experience with him and knowing who he is. I've never dealt with Aaron personally, but I can tell you the force multiplier effect, not only on the field but off the field, that Tom brings, to me, distinguishes him from everybody else.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, his willingness to be coached as he became more and more of a household name, as he became more and more successful, as he became wealthy, as all the things that hit you in the NFL hit him, he was still coachable. He was a consistent guy. He took less money than other guys in his position in order to help the team push resources other places. You know, I don't know Aaron, but there's been some comments about how good of a locker room presence he is. I don't feel like I should, can say that definitively, but that has been
that's real. It's
has
out
been
there.
said
Yes.
quite a bit, and that to me would be a significant distinguishing factor between these guys.
Well, and on the flip side of the argument, one thing Aaron Rodgers has never had is, of course, Bill Belichick. And that's not an indictment on Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy's a fine coach, but he's certainly not Bill Belichick. And Brady's, we talk about that partnership throughout the entirety of his career and throughout almost the entirety of Belichick's career in New England. But there is no wrong answer here, and these are not only the two best quarterbacks in football still to this day, but these are two of the best quarterbacks ever, period, point blank. Like, we know what Brady's resume is, and we know that somehow he has, particularly as of late, you look at the last 3 Super Bowls he's been in, been at his absolute best, not just in forget the Super Bowl, talking about the clutch last moments of the Super Bowl. In the Seattle Super Bowl, what he did in the fourth quarter, what he did in the comeback against Atlanta, even though they came up short, what he was able to do in trying to win that game against Philadelphia. What Rodgers has, to me, unlike any other quarterback, even though he only has the 1 Super Bowl, is the ability to make every single throw from multiple angles, whether he's in the pocket or on the run. Like, as far as being able to make those throws outside of the stability of the pocket, the only guy I can think of is Steve Young. And Steve Young didn't do it for as long as Rodgers has done it for. But, and the ability to make every throw within the pocket, to me, he is right there with a guy like Dan Marino, who I know, you talk about all the time, is one of, if not the best thrower of the football. I don't think it's too far to say Rodgers is of that caliber, and they're still playing both of them at this level, where it's Brady and Rodgers and then everybody else in the league.
Yeah, well, one thing about Brady, too, because you mentioned some good points as far as how is he with the other players, the other things in the locker room. Aaron, of late, has made a big deal as far as he didn't know about them firing the quarterback coach, and that's not the kind of stuff that's going to come out of New England. But Brady's ability to utilize not the 3rd or 4th receiver, but I'm talking about guys who you don't know about. Guys end up having monster. When was the last time someone in Green Bay had a game over? I'm talking about not Cobb, not Jordy, not those guys, but the other players like Rex Burkhead. When we see him have big game, James White in big game. When have we seen Aaron and their offense go to those types of players? You don't see that very often. So if you're looking for edges with guys who are the best at what they're doing, look at how Tom Brady makes all these role players so much better. And I believe that Tom Brady has more of a full playbook than Aaron has. I believe because of McCarthy, I believe because he's the play caller, Aaron has half the stuff that Brady can do. Because if you get in the wrong defense at any point in the game, Aaron might change a route or a side adjustment. He won't change the whole play. And Tom Brady will move the running back, move him outside, move the tight end inside. You see him orchestrating. I don't see any other quarterback doing the Peyton Manning type stuff like Tom Brady, Coach.
And what I loved about Tom is as he became a household name. And this story where he had gotten a commercial offer. And he said, look, I will do this commercial as long as you put my offensive line in the commercial. And this was a chance for him to do something on his own, to make more money if it was just him on his own. But he wanted to make sure that those guys were coming up with him. In terms of dealing with the other players on the field, there's a selflessness to his approach in the sense that if you're open and in the right spot, I'm going to throw it to you. I don't care if you're Nick Wright and you got here today, or if you're a star, if you're in the right spot and you're open, I'm going to throw it to you. And if you're a star and you're in the wrong spot, I'm not going to throw it to you. And that takes a lot of discipline because it's not about his stats. It's not about, how he looks. It's about winning the game. And most guys can't deal with that. They can't deal with not being the guy.
So you guys both have separate stories about each of these guys that I think is interesting juxtaposition. You talk about Tom Brady, about how he wasn't Tom Brady that we know now when he got there.
Not
wasn't
even
anywhere close. Compare that to the story you told yesterday, C, about you were on the field the day Aaron Rodgers first practiced when he took over for Brett Favre.
Yes.
And you and Greg Jennings and Donald Driver all knew, oh, this guy's got something here.
Yeah, he's a special player.
Special.
Like, it doesn't take long to guys that throw the ball that you're able to be with them to know that the velocity of the football, how the ball flies, like it's going to be very, very different. I saw him roll out and wasn't even paying attention and looked like he was going to throw the ball across the middle, end up throwing the ball outside. And I was like, you don't do that unless you have a lot of arm talent and also a lot of confidence.
So here's why I bring it up. And I believe Brady's the greatest quarterback ever. I don't even think it's a debate, given what he's accomplished, how long he's done it, all of this stuff. But there is an element of, at least to me, I feel like Aaron Rodgers, you could have dropped him into almost any situation, and he would have shown you the high-level Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame level talent.
I don't believe that, because you forgot the time that he sat. Aaron was very immature. You go to a junior college with that type of arm talent, you go to a junior college for a reason. Now, people haven't asked Aaron, well, what happened when you were in California? What happened in high school? Why didn't you go to some other big school compared to going to a junior college? And that time he was able to sit, 5 years, right?
Three full years behind Brett. Are you talking about just in the pros?
Yes.
3 full years behind Brett Favre.
That right there is invaluable. You can't say a guy didn't play. You can't say, well, what if we'd put him in Dallas then? With Troy, could he go 1-15 like Troy Aikman? And then still have the same type of career? Because they tried to end Troy Aikman's career, but no, sir. He was going to be a great player regardless. So I don't believe that. He has arm talent, but I don't believe you can just drop him in any situation. Because that 3 years to sit behind Brett was pretty special.
And I think to some degree, Tom Brady lucked out in the situation that he went to, because there were a lot of coaches that would have cut early Tom, who would have cut young Tom, and who knows where he would have gone. He had incredible traits. He had a lot of things that you like, but it was far from a finished product. So him getting that year to develop, and we carried four quarterbacks that first year, to me, that helped him significantly as well.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.